Right now at noon, a welcome surprise for the children of local soldiers.
We've got ourselves a cooler but seasonable day across the area. We'll take a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, in preparation for Thanksgiving, we see this year's top side dishes to go along with your turkey.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on KOAM News at Noon. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy. In today's top story, a federal court sentences a Neosho, Missouri man for his role in a kidnapping. A judge gives Lawrence William Vaughn 25 years in a federal prison without parole for a kidnapping conspiracy that resulted in the torture and death of the victim, and in a separate and unrelated case for illegally possessing stolen firearms. Vaughn pleaded guilty in April for his role in a conspiracy to commit kidnapping. In July of 2020, Vaughn and other co-defendants were offered $5,000 to kidnap the victim known as MH. During his abduction, the victim was bound and beaten and then fatally shot. A total of 5 co-defendants have also pleaded guilty in the kidnapping and await sentencing in this case. A pair of local service members surprised their kids at school after nearly a year in Africa. The fathers, Joshua Watson and Colton Owens, are part of the Missouri National Guard's 294th Engineer Company. Yesterday, the company finally returned home after 10 months. Watson and Owens then made their way to McKinley Elementary in Joplin, where they dressed up as mascots to surprise their kids before being swallowed in hugs.
Hey! I miss you, bro.
It's very emotional, very emotional. Just very anxious and ready. It was hard to keep the mask on and not just show them I'm right here.
I tried not to let my knees buckle. I saw him, and my heart started racing. And I was like trying so hard not to go up and grab him, give him a hug, but yeah, definitely like surprised me, like how I would feel about it.
The Guard members hadn't been home since January 5th.
Yeah, we've got ourselves, it's again a bit cooler out there, but much more seasonable in terms of our temperatures. Earlier this morning, watching the clouds continue to build in, those gusty winds were hanging on, but they're starting to ease up just a bit. Still breezy, but they'll be easing up just a bit. And we could see a few isolated showers out there. As our camera downtown Joplin from the Cornell Complex earlier this morning, MoDOT camera from 20th and Range Line also showing just the increasing cloud cover across the area. So yesterday, started the day at 57, thankfully nowhere near that record low of 8, only 1 degree off of tying the record high back in 1980. We made it up to 82 yesterday, 20 degrees above where we're supposed to be for this time of year. But today, a completely different story as our temperatures fall, and they may even be just a pinch below average. So we went from above average, even record-setting temperatures, to below average and then back to normal. But there are some changes on the way in these temperatures again. We're only really going to get to experience fall for about 2, perhaps 3 days out there before we see things change again. Going through the evening, cloudy skies out there. Could see some isolated showers, better chances along and south of I-44, and we will be falling back into the mid-40s as we head into the late overnight hours. And of course, don't forget to download the KOAM Skywatch weather app. You get the latest forecast, radar data, everything you need to know about the day's weather, and of course weather alerts, all right there in the palm of your hand. So head over to your favorite app store and get that Skywatch weather app today. Again, we've got some changes on the way with those temperatures. We're going to take a look at the full forecast here in just a few more minutes.
And 10 years ago, the municipality of Pitcher, Oklahoma was officially dissolved due to contamination from mine waste. Most town structures that weren't demolished, collapsed, or destroyed by fire or a tornado are abandoned. Still, according to the people that we spoke to, at least 5 families still live in the area. While for many, Pitcher is now a ghost town, for locals, it's their forever hometown. KOAM's Fernanda Silva spoke to some of them.
We kind of made up for everything that went away. We just done other things to fill that void. I just knew that that's where my heart was, and that's where I just wanted to graduate from high school.
Alyssa Logan is one of the 11 students in the last Pitcher High School graduating class. The feeling of belonging is just one of the things Alyssa and her dad miss the most about the small Oklahoma town.
Most people didn't know all the streets, but could ask them, what person are you looking for, and we can tell you where they're at just by the name of the person.
We had a lot of fun there.
Local families found in the chat piles a source of entertainment. Kids would go there to ride their bicycles, and friends would gather for picnics.
We were on them anytime we could be on them, whether we were riding our bikes or just climbing up them or just like going up and hanging out.
4th of July, you could see everybody's fireworks from Joplin, Carl Junction, over to Miami, Commerce, everybody between.
But then, things changed. Because of the years of mining in Picture, high levels of lead were found in the huge jet piles around the town and the groundwater.
It was found that many of our children were lead poisoned. Every single dirt road was not dirt, it was jet. And so there was a great deal of exposure going on every time the wind blew for every single person breathing.
Besides that, some buildings shown to be at risk of caving in because of the undermining. In 2006, the state of Oklahoma passed legislation that allowed for the voluntary buyout of citizens with children in the area. 2 years later, a tornado hit Picture.
And this is at the beginning of the tornado.
Many felt as if it was rather a sign of God, saying maybe we really need to go.
In 2009, the Environmental Protection Agency evacuated the town. Now Rebecca Jim fears the story will repeat in other places.
No mining company that I know of knows how to put the land back.
While the land can't be put back, Greg still drives through Picture once a week to relive his memories.
We miss Picture pretty much every day. You can reminisce about it, but it's never going to go back. We're never going to get Picture back.
In Picture, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
The Quapaw Nation got the contract from the Environmental Protection Agency to deal with the Tar Creek Superfund site. They are moving Chad, intending to bring the land to a better state of existence. According to the Quapaw Nation, since 2013, over 7 million tons of waste was moved at the Tar Creek Superfund site. And on Wednesday night, the 57th Annual Country Music Association Awards took place in Nashville, Tennessee. Luke Bryan and Peyton Manning hosted the ceremony. The winner for Single of the Year was Fast Car by Luke Combs. New Artist of the Year was Jelly Roll. Male Vocalist of the Year was Chris Stapleton. And the award for Best Female Vocalist of the Year and Entertainer of the Year went to Lainey Wilson. And finally, we take it over to an important part of Thanksgiving dinner, the side dishes. Campbell's Soup just released its annual State of the Sides report. Here are their top 5 most popular Thanksgiving sides. Number 5 is green bean casserole. Number 4, sweet potatoes. The source of many Thanksgiving arguments on who made it, mac and cheese is number 3. Number 2 on the list is stuffing, and America's favorite side dish, according to Campbell's, is mashed potatoes. And that's a look at today's top stories and weather in the 4 states region. Up next on KOAM News at Noon, the U.S. carried out airstrikes in eastern Syria on what the Pentagon said was a weapons storage facility used by Iran's Revolutionary Guard. We'll hear what President Biden has to say about the strike. And later, we're making 3 different kinds of frostings in the Mr. Food Test kitchen. Stay tuned. President Biden ordered more airstrikes on targets in Syria in retaliation for attacks on U.S. forces in Syria and Iraq carrying out anti-terrorism activities. Natalie Brand has more details from the White House.
The U.S. carried out airstrikes in eastern Syria on what the Pentagon says was a weapons storage facility used by Iran's Revolutionary Guard.
Mr. President, why did you strike Iran's Revolutionary Guard?
Because they struck us.
And President Biden, you plan to hit them again?
They struck us.
It's the second strike in less than 2 weeks and a response to ongoing attacks against U.S. troops in Iraq and Syria. There have been more than 40 since October 17th, injuring 46 U.S. service members. 25 suffered traumatic brain injuries.
If they continue to choose to hit our troops, if they continue to launch these rocket and drone attacks, then we'll continue to do what we need to do to protect ourselves.
The Pentagon says it remains concerned about potential escalation. The administration is trying to prevent that while also defending U.S. forces in the region.
We're not looking for conflict with Iran. We've made that very clear, but we'll do what's necessary to protect our personnel, be they military or civilian.
These attacks have been on the rise since the Israel-Hamas war began, with about half happening after the first U.S. airstrike in Syria on October 26th.
We have sent a strong signal, not just to Iran, but to other actors in the region that we don't want to see this conflict with Hamas widen or deepen. And thus far, so far, we haven't seen that happen.
The U.S. has increased its military presence in the Middle East for deterrence, in addition to the nearly 3,500 U.S. service members in Iraq and Syria as part of a coalition to defeat ISIS. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
The Pentagon says Iranian-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen shot down an American Reaper drone worth about $30 million. The Houthis claim that the drone was in Yemeni airspace, but a U.S. defense official says the drone was in airspace over international waters. Still to come on KOAM News at Noon, we see what's cooking with Mr. Food.
Whether your cookies, cakes, or bars are homemade or start from a box mix, nothing makes them stand out more than our from-scratch frostings.
But first, we've got the cloudy skies, maybe even some shower chances ahead of another round of changes in our temperatures. We'll get that full forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at Noon. So we have had a chillier day for us today and a cloudier day, but these temperatures a little bit more of what we're supposed to be seeing this time of year. And we're going to get this brief taste of fall before temperatures change again. Quick look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker earlier this morning showing us the clouds as they just continue to roll into the area. And then off to the south, showers and even a few thunderstorms. No severe weather, but some rumbles of thunder right south of I-44, just lining up with the I-40 corridor. This is why we've been saying there's slightly better chances, and only slightly better chances, a few isolated showers, maybe a rumble of thunder along and south of I-44. But as this activity continues, we could still see a few isolated spotty showers north of I-44 as well. It's just the overall chances aren't all that great, unfortunately. I know we need the rain. It's just right now, this is not really the system that's going to do it for us. All right, we had the clouds starting to build in this morning. MoDOT camera 20th and range line. Our camera on top of the Cornell complex in downtown. We had the gusty winds this morning, and then they're going to start to actually ease up. They'll still be a bit breezy as we head into the afternoon, but nowhere near the 20 to 30 mile an hour wind gusts we've seen over the last several days. The one consistency, though, whether you see a shower or not, is going to be the widespread cloud cover out there. And of course, you can see just light hints of sunshine from the KDOT camera south of Pittsburgh this morning as the clouds continue to increase across the area. For the rest of today, a bit below average, and by a bit I mean a degree or two below average, so not bad. Upper 50s, mostly cloudy to just plain old cloudy skies out there. And again, initially the winds gusting to 30, but they're going to start to die down a bit, and we have that opportunity for a stray shower or two. And again, south of I-44, maybe a rumble of thunder, but want to reemphasize, no severe weather, nothing like that expected. This is just a little bit of some rain for at least some of us out there. Now, overnight tonight through the evening, showers could continue, again, especially along and south of I-44, some isolated showers. But as we go overnight into early Friday morning, we're actually going to start to clear out. We're looking to be partly cloudy. It's going to be cold compared to where we've been, but that overnight low of 40 is right about where we should be for our overnight lows. And this is a much better wind speed than what we've seen here lately. Northeast breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. As we head into our Friday, looking pretty good as well, around 60 degrees, so right about where we should be. Partly cloudy skies, a relatively pleasant day as well. And again, my favorite thing right here, the wind. There's no gust indication on this. We're looking at a light northeast breeze at around 5 to 10 miles an hour out there. So an absolutely beautiful fall-like day. We're going to continue to see fall-like weather as we head into Veterans Day as well. Partly cloudy skies right around 60. And then we get into Sunday and the first half of next week, and our temperatures begin to warm. Sky conditions pretty good, and our temperatures into the upper 60s. So we're going to go a little above normal, and then we get to the second half of next week, and temperatures looking to trend even warmer into the low to mid 70s out there. So not quite record levels in some cases, but still about 10, 12 degrees above where we should be for this time of year. Now, do be aware, of course, with our overnight lows, those are going to start to be more seasonable for the next few nights, so expect some chilly mornings out there. And as we warm up toward the end of next week, of course, the overnight lows will do so as well, going back into the upper 40s and low 50s. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Well, stick around because we're making 3 of Howard's favorite frostings in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. It's time to check in with Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Whether you bake a cake from scratch or start with a box mix, we can't think of a better way to finish it off than with a homemade frosting. So here's Howard's collection of his 3 favorites. Take a look.
Now that we're about to enter the holiday season, it seems like we're looking for new and exciting ways to kick up our baked goods. And whether we're looking to jumpstart our cookies, cakes, or even our bars, nothing does it better than finishing them with a homemade frosting. So let me share 3 of my favorites. Here I'm making a from-scratch cinnamon buttercream frosting, which is simply some butter, brown sugar, and cinnamon beaten together. Now that it's light and fluffy, we stir in a splash of vanilla and some powdered sugar. After this comes together, we beat in some half and half and more powdered sugar. Does this look good or what? And for those of you who love the combo of chocolate and coffee, our mocha frosting is a creamy, fluffy spin-off of a ganache that is truly to die for. And if by chance you love caramel, I mean really love it, then our decadent caramel frosting should not be missed. Imagine any of these slathered on cookies for Santa or on a really good snack cake. To get the recipes for our cinnamon buttercream frosting, the caramel frosting, and our mocha frosting, along with the snack cake recipe that I was talking about, just go to our website. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a sweeter way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
To find this recipe, along with many others, just head over to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com and click on Mr. Food. Now here's a look at your 4-state market prices.
All right, so maybe a stray shower or 2 out there through the evening hours. Better tomorrow. Seasonable temperatures. Great Veterans Day ahead of us. 60 degrees, partly cloudy, and we'll start to warm up in the first half of next week as our temperatures go back into the mid to upper 60s across the area, with overnight lows into the mid 40s by the middle of next week.
All right, and Dow, what do you have for us tonight?
Well, a whole lot coming up at 5. For starters, the FDA has approved a new drug to help Americans lose weight, and it's set to hit the market later this year. The drug, called Zepbound, is a new formula of the popular diabetes treatment Mounjaro. Plus, a local soldier surprises his kids during a Veterans Day celebration in Miami, Oklahoma. And Crawford County mental health experts talk about the different services available for veterans. Hope you join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up today on KOAM News at 5.
And we've had some special guests join us in studio today from Christ Homeschool Co-op. That's the news for now. Thank you for joining us for KOAM News at Noon. Have a great rest of your day.